When I was a little boy, I always knew that my parents loved me. That's a good thing. But I also realized sometimes they really worried about me. One of the things they worried about was that I wasn't big enough, that I wasn't athletic enough. You see, I was born and raised in the state of Alabama. Now, I don't know what it's like where you are, but when you're born in Alabama, they give you this birth certificate that's got your name on it and the date that you're born on it, and they take your foot and they put it in some ink, a little baby footprint on your birth certificate, and then down at the bottom corner of the birth certificate in the state of Alabama, they put whether you're for Alabama or Auburn. It's so important. Football in the state of Alabama. If your team wins, you get bragging rights for the whole year. And if your team loses, you have to say, wait till next year. And I was this really little boy. On Friday nights, my mama and daddy and I would go to the football games in Talladega. We'd sit up there in the stadium and we'd cheer our team on. My oldest sister Alice was in the band, and my youngest sister Patsy was a cheerleader. And my parents would stand up in front of all these other people from our town and they'd shout, "Mama's in the kitchen, Daddy's playing chess, Baby's in the cradle yelling THS. And we would cheer those high school boys on as they defended our town against kids from other towns around, and they seemed like heroes to me. And all little boys dreamed of growing up and playing football like that. But I was so small that I could never play football. And my parents worried about that. I could tell they worried about that by the presents that they'd give me, like at Christmas time and for my birthday. Oh, I wanted books and I wanted toys and things like that. My parents gave me a punching bag and boxing gloves. I was the only kid I knew with a punching bag hanging in the corner of my bedroom. One day, my mama came to pick me up after school, and she started driving not toward our house, but toward a whole other area of town where we hardly ever went. She said, "I've signed you up to play Little League." I thought, "Mama, I can't play Little League." I said, "I don't know how to play baseball." She said, "You can learn." I said, "Mama, I can't play Little League because I don't even have a baseball glove." And that's when she reached into a sack there on the car seat between us, and she handed me this baseball glove, brand new, stiff. It was like holding a dinner plate in my hand. We got to this ball field, and there were all these people there. I didn't know any of them. And she put me out of the car, and she drove off. There was a man standing over there with a clipboard, and I figured he must be the coach. So I went over and told him my name, and he looked on his clipboard, and he said, "Yep, you're on the team." And he looked me over, and he sent me out into left field. And then he started hitting balls to all of us, and I watched as the other kids caught the balls, and I thought, well, at least my glove is better than theirs, because every time they caught a ball, dust flew out of their gloves. Whenever a ball came to me, if it came close enough, I'd stick my glove up, and it would just kind of bounce off of my glove. Well, have you ever tried to catch a baseball with a dinner plate? But most of the time, it didn't come close to me, and I'd go chasing the ball down, and I'd get it, and I'd throw it as hard as I could, but it wouldn't even go the direction I was trying to throw it, and it wouldn't go half the distance I was trying to throw it, and somebody from the infield would come and pick it up and throw it to somebody else. And pretty soon I got promoted to right field. Not many balls came out to right field, which suited me just fine. I got to look for four-leaf clovers in the grass. By the time that first practice was over, my mama came to pick me up. I had such a headache. I told my mama my head hurt so bad, she gave me aspirin and she put me to bed. About an hour later, she came in. "Are you better?" I said, "No, my head still hurts." A little while later, she came in. She said, "Are you better yet?" I said, "No, my head still hurts." Finally, she came in and said, "You know, you don't really have to play Little League if you don't want to." And I said, "I'm better." Years later, when I graduated from seminary, and became a minister. My first church, I was the associate minister in charge of youth and young adults, and I'd just gotten there in the summer, and one of the young adults came up to me and said, "We play in the slow pitch softball league." And I said, "Good." And then he said, "And you're on our team." And I said, "Oh, goody." And then he said, "You're our pitcher." And I said, "I've never pitched before." He said, "That doesn't matter." And he assigned one of the high school kids to teach me. Now, in slow pitch softball, it's not real hard. I practiced kind of lobbing that ball in toward the home plate. Just make it fall over the home plate sort of near the batter. That's the point. And I practiced, and I got where I could do it pretty well. I hardly walked anybody. The thing is, almost everybody that comes up to bat hits the ball in slow pitch softball. The good news is they hit it farther than the pitcher's mound, so I never had to touch it again once I'd pitched it. The really good news was our team was pretty good. Our people could get people out, and we were also pretty good hitting, so we could score some runs. And by the time we got to the tournament, at the end of the season, we were really good, and we found ourselves playing First Presbyterian Church for the championship. Our church was Waverly Road Presbyterian Church, and we played First Presbyterian Church, and we won. Now, the thing is, in Kingsport, Tennessee, which is where I was, the local newspaper covered the Church League slow pitch softball tournament. The next day in the paper, there was a little article that said, "Waverly Road Presbyterian Church defeated First Presbyterian Church for the championship of the Church Slow Pitch Softball League." And the next sentence said, "Bill Jones reigned victorious as the winning pitcher." Well, don't you know I cut that out and mailed it to my mama. Years later, when my mama died, I got her Bible. And I was looking through her Bible, and there was that article. My mama was really worried about me not being athletic enough. Sometimes parents do really silly things when they worry about us, but I figure it's just because they love us so much.